in any
Right.
meaningful way.
Though nobody will let me forget that Miranda versus Miranda match at at Adepticon. That
Oh my
was
God.
that was awful.
I hate you, Chico.
What a nightmare. Uh,
Yes. So the moral of that story is like no one will remember anything unless it's a Miranda versus Miranda matchup.
Well, that's
which
because no
case-
one likes Miranda. Objectively
Yeah.
true. Miranda's actually the worst. So
Yeah.
so for Steven, are you planning on adding Heroes of the Antari cluster, FGA, or any other custom options to Yasby? Clearly, you got some feature requests there.
So the new ships will be added as soon as there's a preview document. Like I can add them anytime, but there's no ships to add. So actually, nothing will even show up. Right?
Sure.
We don't have pilot cards. We don't have anything. We barely have a stat line. Like so. That'll come when there's a preview. So until that happens, people have been asking for that for like months, and I'm just like, what's to add, right? So those will come then. Here's a tri cluster. That there is there like an official? Because like Josh Jerkson, who actually made the original, he didn't make it 2.0. Some other people in the community made it 2.0.
There's a 2.0 conversion on like
Right.
their Atari cluster group. There's one that's actually like really good. There's an Imperial one, and they've converted the original for second edition, but nothing like official.
But not official, yeah. So like, and Josh is a Toronto person, so like if I like our local community can always like ping him if we wanted to make that happen. But like as far as I know, nothing's in the pipeline that I'm aware of. Like, you know, people have discussions all the time without me, so like it could be just happening and I don't know about it. But like if there was, then maybe. But right now there doesn't seem to be a lot of necessity. Plus that game doesn't really require a builder anyway. It's because aren't you just putting things into slots and like those slots don't have points? So I don't know. Like probably not.
You know, I'll bully you and I'll make it happen. I'm a huge fan of HOTAS. A lot.
Oh, I'm an immense fan of HOTAS, but like it's just like
I think there's a tool that I could bully you into making that would be useful. Someday.
See, the thing is, you say you're gonna bully me, but most likely I will just bully you into something else.
You know what? It'll be a mutual bullying, like fisticuffs. Maybe Chico can do it. Chico, can you add in a cryodex,
totally
please?
Totally,
No.
Chico can do it.
No, people were asking me for the longest time to add in a squadron builder into cryodex so that all of the judges could build the lists and they would just be in the tournament. Which hooray sounds great, but you know I'm just like you, Steven. I'm lazy.
I've got the solution for you. Just like have a button that says like, you know, build list, and then just have it be a link that goes to Yasby.
There you go. Yeah,
perfect.
But
like implemented, it working 100%.
Yeah, they wanted me to do that, but like when you have to update your software a hell of a lot more often than I have to update mine. Like tournament rules don't change that frequently. It's like way back in the day they would change them like every year as they were trying to figure out whether they wanted margin of victory or strength of schedule.
The strength of schedule.
Oh
Oof.
Man. And
dark times.
I don't know if you remember the days of non-random pairing.
No, I don't remember that.
So like in a point group, the top person got paired against the bottom person in that point group.
Wow.
Unless it was an odd number, then the top person got paired into the top person of the next point group, and just all those rules was so chaotic.
Leave it to FFG, dog.
Oh yeah, it was pretty nuts. So yeah, like me having to update my rules is not significant. My changes for second edition was changing a 1 to a 2 for 100 points to 200 points.
Perfect. You did it.
A lot easier.
We did it, Reddit.
Yeah. So you were saying like there were so many people retiring because they didn't want to touch second edition.
Yeah.
It wasn't that hard for me.
Perfect.
but like doing a squadron builder, I was like, man, I have to update things every time they change points, every time a new ship comes out, and they pump out ships like crazy. It's like, no, I don't want to.
So, but I should point out that I'm the only one who actually has to do them manually. Everyone else is pulling from an API and and then doing some minor tweaks and then reformatting it for their thing. So,
really?
Like, yeah. Because when the squad builder came out, the official one, I can talk about this. I guess like there's like no, like it's been this way for the entire time, and no one's ever changed it, even though we've brought it up several times. There is a public access point that you can just pull the database.
Yeah.
So they just pull the database every single time the points changes, and then they update their builders. Except me, because we don't have a way to easily do that, because I'm still using a hobbled together piece of garbage that I put together myself, and there's too many exceptions for it to be like easily scriptable.
So whenever we get like 3 or 5 waves all in a single day, whenever FFG's boat finally arrives, Steven's gonna be like,
yeah. So the real challenge is like, so whenever a points updates comes or new ships come out, there's like a race between Yasby and Launch Bay Next, right? And it's really just a race on my side, because like Andre just like pushes a button and then everything.
Love that guy,
and
though.
Runs the script and everything up there. He's amazing, right?
He's a good dude.
He just does this, but I have like this internal raffle of like, I gotta get it up before him. I'm racing, and basically I've got to update it faster than he can remember to push the button. That's what I'm racing.
So funny.
That's a fun race.
Yeah.
Oh man, so where are we going now? Okay, I think we got time for one more question.
Cool.
This one might get us off on some tangents. Yes. What is your proudest moment from the X-Wing community? The moment that made you think, yeah, this is a great community.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's a great question.
I can answer this easily. So you think of your question, because you got more history, Ryan. I have the answer right away. The moment I realized this is a great community is when the D and Yasby thing happened, and everybody was rallying on the Yasby side. That's when I knew. That's when I knew the community was great. Well, that we could dunk on this one dude, even though he had nothing. Like, D's actually been like a fine person, right? But because a beef was started, everyone was just ready to jump on the meme. I knew the community was going to be a great community.
I think for me, it was my first Adepticon, which was Hoth. It was that first ever system open, back when they had planet names. And that was my first ever time traveling out of state for a big X-Wing event. It was my first con that I'd ever been to, ever. And it... or maybe I can't remember if it was that or Worlds. Regardless, like this was one of my first like major big time events, and I remember just we had the podcast, but no one knew who I was at that point. People knew who D was, but not me. But I do remember that I had played a game against somebody, and I had mentioned something about the podcast because brand. And the person had said, "Oh, I've heard about that podcast. Like, I hear that that's okay." And I was like, "Oh my God, like someone listened, like someone has heard of it." And I thought that was cool. But even more so, it was when people would come up to me and say, and this still happens constantly, being like, "Hey, thanks for X," or "Thanks for Y." And it's not even about like the podcast or the content, but just being so like nice and saying that either something that the podcast did, or even just thanking. I've seen people like thank Dion. I've seen people come up and thank other people. Just being it's hard to think of like pinpoint a specific time or a specific person, but like every time I think of it, like Coach comes to my mind. I met Aaron Kroll at my first Worlds, and he came up to me and he's like, dude, I just want to say, like, you don't know who I am, but like, I'm a huge fan of yours and a big fan of your podcast. He gave me a movie still Lando Calrissian card, which was incredible, but like that, but he like still, like that, like speaks out to me. And then I remember in the parking lot with him, he was tailgating and he was like, oh, like I'd love to start a podcast. And I was like, you should start a podcast. Like, why not? Like, I would listen. Like, do it, man. And then he did. And then like the OCX podcast came out. It's one of my favorite podcasts. And it's just I'm rambling a bit, but it's the goodwill that just is a cycle in the community. It's a pass on, right? Like, you're nice to someone at your table. You're nice to someone at your table. You look around everyone playing in a big X-Wing event, and for the most part, everybody is just so chill and nice with one another. It's Brian Terwilliger is another guy that I met. I didn't know he was involved in the WWE. Incredible guy. And he was like, dude, I like love your podcast. And I was like, well, what do you do? And he said he worked for the WWE. And to have someone who is actually like involved in real things say, like, just be so chill and cool and down to earth. I think one of the best things about X-Wing is we can leave our adult lives at home and really bond over this love. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter what status you are, who you are. You can just meet person to person and have that connection over Star Wars and plastic spaceships. And that's what I think I love the most about the community.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I think for me, it had to be the gap of time between first edition and second edition when we had no idea what we were going to do. And Nami and a few of those guys decided, you know what, we're going to create a running group and encourage people to get in shape and do something with their summer. And I had never really considered it before, but I jumped in on that, and it's been, incredibly productive for me. I know you've done some work in there, and like seeing all these people who are making positive impacts, and just something that spawned from, hey, what else are we doing? Let's throw something together, share my love for something with the rest of the community and see who jumps on it. And it, has become a really cool thing. So, with that, I think we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to send it back over to Chad. I want to thank you guys for coming on here. Thank you for being part of the community and building it up to be what it is today. I hope you continue and everything is awesome and prosperous for you guys. So thank you for joining me.
We love you, Chico.
All right, thanks, guys. We will toss it over to Chad if he's ready. Chad?
I am ready. Hello, guys, and thank you for that that hour's worth of discussion on community. It was great to get your perspectives, Chris. I talk to you all the time, and so, but thank you for leading that. Ryan, Stephen, thank you for being a part of that. It was really wonderful to hear what you had to say. So now. Well, first, a reminder, in about 45 minutes, we will be having another Battlefront 2. This is the classic Battlefront 2 from 2005. We'll be having another match with Adam and Asa. So if you weren't here at the 1:30 a.m. Game segment, it was an absolute blast. We had several people join in. Just listening to those guys have fun. So even if you don't jump in, please stay and watch. But if you can, jump in, have some fun with the guys. And I had way more fun watching it than I really expected to. So thank you, Adam. Thank you, Asa. Please consider joining that coming up about 1:45. So now, speaking of community, building community, last week I was able to sit down with Jay Little. Jay Little was the original designer of the X-Wing game. So Jay sat down with me, answered some questions, shared some of his stories, and I think you'll really enjoy what he has to say. So let's hear from Jay. Welcome back. I'm excited for this segment because we get to talk to somebody without whom we might not have the community, the events, the CAC. With us via Zoom call, we have Mr. Jay Little, who was instrumental in the development of the first edition of X-Wing. Mr. Little, welcome.
Thank you very much. And wow, I usually don't get called Mr. Little. Appreciate that. I feel like a big boy now.
Woohoo! So Jay, you were part of the FFG design team back in the early 2010, 2011 range when you guys first got news that you would be getting the Star Wars IP and that you could start working on this game. And what happened? How did that come about that you got to work and help create this game?
Well, it was really interesting because I had been working at Fantasy Flight Games for several years at that point, but had been primarily focused on designing role-playing games and expansions for other people's games. And I had been doing quite well at it, and then rumors started to circulate that we might be getting the Star Wars license. And as you can imagine, everybody at Fantasy Flight Games was really, really excited. And from the design side, all of the designers were super excited, going, oh my gosh, am I going to be one of the people that gets to work on one of our launch products? And I didn't think it was going to be me. I'd only been there for a few years, and Fantasy Flight Games has so many amazing designers like Corey Kineska and Kevin Wilson that I was thinking, surely it's not going to come to me. Maybe I'll get the role-playing game. But my wife and I were actually out looking to adopt a cat, and we were at the shelter, and we had been looking at cats for a while, and then my phone rings, and it's my boss, Michael Hurley, who's the producer for this at the time, and he's like, Jay, guess what? We got the Star Wars license. And I'm like, oh, that is so amazing. That's awesome. And guess what? You're going to be doing 2 of our 3 launch products. And I was stunned. And after the call, I told my wife, and we were really excited. And then I look up, and we are standing in front of a jet black cat whose name is Jedi. I'm like, oh, this is too good. We got to adopt this cat. And we asked them, how did this cat get the name Jedi? And they're like, well, he was a stray, and we put food out for him every morning, and he would always return. And so we're like, look, it's the Return of the Jedi. I'm like, all right, this cat is ours. The Force is telling us that we need to adopt this cat. And it was interesting because it was really this perfect storm of all of these different circumstances that not only landed the Star Wars license, but also gave me the opportunity to work on X-Wing. I happened to have an opening in my design and development schedule. They're like, you know what? We know that you're passionate about Star Wars. We know that you've played miniatures games, and you've done pretty well on a lot of the products that we've done up to this point. Why don't you take the first crack at it and pitch us a mechanic? Pitch us some sort of engine that would drive this miniatures game going forward. So a lot of time was spent with Christian T. Peterson, CEO of Fantasy Flight Games, as well as the head of marketing, Steve Horvath, and a lot of the other stakeholders there, as well as a lot of the design team going, all right, if we're designing an X-Wing miniatures game, what does that need to include? How should that feel at the table? And so that was really, when I first heard about it, I was still a little bit shell-shocked, but then going into some of those early meetings and talking about what this game should be and the long-term vision for what this game was going to be really started to sink in that, oh my gosh, I'm going to be designing this thing. So that's really kind of how it started and how I found out that I would be working on X-Wing.
So when it came to you, had it already been established that it would be like a tabletop dogfighting game? Did you help steer it in that direction, or was that sort of set and then they came to you and said, hey, we want to do this. How do we make this work?
So there were a lot of discussions early on about exactly what a miniatures game should represent. And we knew that we wanted to do starships instead of doing something ground-based with units like that, because the ships themselves are characters in the Star Wars universe, right? The Millennium Falcon is just as much a character as a lot of the other named people that appear on the screen. So it was pretty early on that we knew that we wanted to do starships, also because they're so iconic. I mean, you can just look at the silhouette of an X-Wing or a TIE fighter, and you know what that ship is, and you know what that ship is about. So pretty early on, we decided it was going to be starships. But then the next challenge was trying to narrow it down, because are we talking about just these small, 1 or 2 man starships? Are we going to go up larger? Are we going to get Lambda class shuttles in there? Are we going to go bigger and get like Tantive? And it was really interesting to try to figure out exactly what scale we were going to work with. And that kind of led us to thinking about, all right, well, how large an area are people going to be playing on? If we want people to play on a 3 foot by 3 foot surface, because we know we want there to be organized play, and we know we want people to be able to rely and count on a certain consistent area, we started to figure out, all right, so what is going to feel like a good matchup? What's going to feel like a good dogfight in a 3 by 3 area? And that got us thinking about, right, how many ships do we want each side to field, and what would be right, somewhere in the 2 to 4 to 5 ships per faction or for side. So maybe we're going to have 8, 10, 12 figures out on the board at a time. So kind of working back from that, we figured out, all right, starships about this size, we know these sorts of ships exist in the universe. And then we kind of move forward from there. And I started to flesh out mechanics on how they would maneuver, how the fights would go, and what sort of statistics and characteristics the ships and the pilots were going to have.
So once you establish what kind of game you were going to have, what steps do you follow at that point to turn it into, you know, what we have today?
That's a great question. And a lot of it was basically, we had to establish a certain level of guidelines and rules, things that had to be true or things that had to be possible in this tabletop game. So, for example, once we talked more about this and I found out that the core product was going to be 1 X-Wing and 2 TIE fighters, I kind of used that as my baseline equation for what a good heads-up matchup would be in Star Wars. 1 X-Wing versus 2 TIE fighters. So what does that mean? Does that mean a really experienced X-Wing pilot against 2 rookie TIE fighter pilots, or what? So kind of thinking about the level or the scale of difficulty for that. But one of the things that I knew I wanted to make possible in the game, after watching the dogfights across all of the movies over and over and over again, was that a decent X-Wing pilot with the right circumstances and a good role needed to be able to one-shot a TIE fighter. We've seen it happen in the movies so many times that I knew that that had to be possible in the game. So that was kind of another milestone or touchstone that we could look at and say, all right, as we play, as we develop, does this happen enough in the game that we feel like this is Star Wars worthy? And so sure enough, that started to be true. And what was interesting is I was able to get a formula with the ships and everything else on the table that I wanted, where 1 X-Wing could equal 2 TIE fighters. But then it's like, oh my goodness, I had completely forgotten about the other ships that were going to be in Wave 1. This also needs to support fragile rebellion ships like the A-Wing. This is going to need to support sturdier Imperial ships like the TIE Advanced and TIE Bomber and things like that. And I hadn't even considered that at the beginning, because I was so fixated on 1 X-Wing equals 2 TIE fighters, 1 X-Wing, 2 TIE fighters. And I realized that my base equation was too low and I needed to bring it up higher so that we could have ships both above that were sturdier and packed more firepower, but also below ones that were faster, more nimble, and more fragile, that were there for maneuverability. So it wasn't until we had fleshed out what else was going to be available in the first 2 waves that I got a fuller picture of what X-Wing was going to be. And then it was like, oh man, I'm only dealing with these ships right now, but we're going to have Slave 1 and Boba Fett. We're going to have the Millennium Falcon and Lando and Han Solo. So it kept on changing and getting refined over time. The more we thought about long-term what this game was going to need support in terms of the starships, but then also long-term what this game was going to need to support in terms of the fan base, where we had to not only appeal to younger, inexperienced players who may not go to miniatures gaming as their first gaming option, all the way to seasoned gamers who loved tabletop miniatures games and who were going to pursue this with a passion. They were going to collect every ship. They were going to participate in organized play events. They were going to be in tournaments. So the game really had to be broad and flexible enough to be able to cater to both audiences, as well as be deep enough to be able to design ships across this wide spectrum of starships that we see in the Star Wars universe.
From when you first got involved up until release, what sort of, how long was that process?
That's a tricky and somewhat internal question. But what I will say, it's my very, very first draft. I did over one long sleepless weekend. I think that I was told either on a Thursday or a Friday. I didn't sleep all weekend. I grabbed some of my old Micro Machine and other toys out, and I put them on the table, and I had index cards out, and I was tearing out little sheets of paper to be the movement templates, which I had an idea for early on. I had mocked up some dice with stickers on them. And so I had a really, really crude first draft within 4 or 5 days of finding out. Now, obviously, the game changed dramatically from that first ideation, but that original version, there were some elements in there like the movement templates and some of the other mechanics that did end up persisting and being really important elements that ended up sticking around with actually like the maneuver dials. I knew that I wanted some sort of hidden information that players would lock in so that there was this mind game between the players, just like the pilots would have, about whether they're going to veer left or bank right, or whether I can get them in my sights, whether I'm going to take that shot from long distance. So I wanted a lot of these things to be represented in the game, and those were in the first one. But I'll tell you, the absolute hardest thing to figure out over the course of the game's development were shields. We knew that shields existed in Star Wars, and we hear them talking about shields double front, and the shields have been penetrated or shields are down. But what does that mean mechanically, and what does that mean from a design and a development point? So out of all the things that we discussed and out of all of the different interactions that we looked at, I would probably say that how we treated shields and how they would be represented probably took the longest to hammer out and decide. So it's interesting, some of the details that came together very quickly versus some of the details that we were working on very, very late into the process to try to find the right balance between fidelity to the movies, but also easy to resolve from a gameplay standpoint that they didn't hold up the game.
So you mentioned, you mentioned even in your earliest iterations, you had things like the movement templates and dials and dice. What was the reasoning behind doing the templates that you have that we have now? I mean, those probably changed between when you first made them and what we ended up getting, but why those templates?
So I had been playing a lot of miniatures games in the past. When WizKids came out with Mage Knight and their Mech Warrior game, I played that a lot. I played HeroClix a lot. I played Warhammer and Warhammer 40K quite a bit. And a lot of those would use rulers, but depending on where you started measuring a unit's base or how you turned the ruler, unless you had a square grid like HeroClix eventually had, there was a little bit of guesswork and a little bit of fudging how movement would take place over the course of a lot of these miniatures games. And you could argue one way or the other that movement was or was not being precise. And knowing that this game was going to be played officially at a tournament setting where people are going to be making judgments and rulings, I wanted to cut out all the confusion. I wanted to remove any guesswork. And I wanted these templates that would be consistent, that would provide a wide range of maneuver capabilities, but also remove any question about whether or not a move was legitimate and was being accurately measured. And so the movement templates took that away immediately. But this is also a great time to point out that as the designer, I had a lot of control, but there were a lot of other people who contributed critical ideas to this game. So the producer of the game, Steve Kimball, when he was getting production quotes for the manufacturing of this, he looked at these plastic bases and the movement templates, and he's like, what if we put these two little nubs on the side of the base that the template would fit into, so that it would just fit in smoothly like a glove? And that way, no matter what, you're always getting a consistent measurement from the same part of the base every single time. And I'm like, that's brilliant. I had never even considered that. I was trying to go for that with this template system. And then he was able to introduce something during the production meetings and during the whole process of figuring out how we're actually going to manufacture this game, to be able to come up with something that is so small, but so elegant that really tied together one of the key parts of the game. So I wanted flexibility. I wanted to represent a lot of different types of movement that these different ships could have. And I wanted there to be a level of consistency that people could rely on, because not only does that help me as the active player in moving my ships, it also helps the opponent be able to gauge, all right, this ship is fairly maneuverable. I guess that they're probably going to be able to do one of these 3 or 4 things on their turn. And you can start to plan for that and get that level of brinksmanship between the players of, all right, I think he's going to go straight for me. He's not going to go right for me. He's going to have to bank, where they play these games of chicken, or they try to outguess their opponent on what they're actually going to be doing on their turn. I loved that. So that was a key part of why the maneuver templates were in there. So then the next part were the command discs with the orders being dialed in and put in face down, because those two elements work in concert with each other to create the overall maneuver system.
Did you have a formula or sort of a system of logic to determine what maneuvers were available on each ship's dial?
Yeah, that changed quite a bit too over the course of playtesting, and then also taking a look at these ships in the movies, and then kind of internally what felt right. Like, that's not nearly agile enough for an A-wing or a standard TIE fighter, or that's way too slow and clumsy for a Y-wing. We need to give it some more, that's too quick and fast for XYZ. So some of it was kind of just playing around at the table with these maneuvers to find out how well these played together, and if we were providing enough variety, and were we actually using all of the maneuver pieces. At one point, I had a straightforward maneuver stick that we never ended up using, because we didn't feel like any ship should be able to move that fast or that far in one turn, because from a game standpoint, even if simulation-wise it felt right, from a game standpoint, it didn't seem right that a ship should be able to clear half the field in one turn. But out of all the maneuvers, one of the things that was crucial, and this was actually brought to me from playing a whole bunch of dogfighting games from World War I, World War II, games like Crimson Skies and Blue Max, and just all of these games, one of these maneuvers was the Immelmann, where the ship could fly in and then bank and turn around and go back the way that they were facing. But the Immelmann, which was named after a pilot from old classic dogfighting days in our world, of course that didn't exist in Star Wars. So we had to come up with and find through Lucasfilm. That's how you get the Qui-Gon turn that mimics that particular maneuver, where you can have a ship move all the way to the end of its maneuver template and then turn around in a full 180 and face in the other direction. And that's why it's such a difficult maneuver. But that was something that I knew I wanted to be able to represent. So modeling a lot of this after I guess contemporary or 20th century dogfighting that we would see old black and white movie reels for, that was also a big influence on the maneuverability feel and tactics that we wanted to bake into X-Men.
So you bring up the Qui-Gon, which then leads to the stress mechanic.
Yes.
So at what point did stress plays a big role in the game. What point did that mechanic come into play, and how influential was it for you?
That mechanic came in very, very early, because one of my favorite elements in any game is push your luck. That you have the ability to do something if you are willing to take a risk. That you can pull off a tight turn if you suffer strain. You can continue doing something if you're okay with strain imparting or imposing this particular penalty on you. A lot of the games that I've designed have some sort of push your luck element, that you can do what you want to do if you're willing to take the associated risk. So I wanted there to be risks that were on the active player side, that not all of the risk was posed by how far or close you are to an enemy and whether or not they can bring their weapons to bear on you. That's an external risk that you absolutely need to be able to consider, but there needed to be some sort of internal risk as well. And I thought that strain was a great way to model that, but then it also opened up the door to so many new design elements for, all right, now that you've suffered strain, what can that mean? Can that have some sort of mechanical impact? Can certain pilots react to or ignore strain? Can strain somehow modify dice rolls? Does that prevent you from doing certain things in the future? And so it just really brought a lot more to the table with what we could do mechanically once that idea was kind of settled into that we are going to have strain. And then it was just determining what is strain going to represent, how are we going to have it manifest mechanically, and what sort of push your luck role is that going to play in the game.
So moving on from stress, one of the integral parts of list building in an X-Wing game are the points,
Yep.
what the value of each component is. How did you go about, especially early in the game, determining what points cost, what determined a ship's point cost?
Spreadsheets and spreadsheets and spreadsheets. Oh my goodness. So initially, since I had told you that one X-Wing equals 2 TIE fighters, my original formula was, all right, so let's make an X-Wing worth 50 points and each TIE fighter worth 25 points. That way we've got, the same value on both sides of that equation. Let's go with that. But at that point, I was still working with the idea that the ship and the pilot would be separate. So I had point values for ships as well as point values for pilots. And it came to me very, very quickly that that was way too much to try to manage, especially from a build point of view, where if I want to field 5 starships, that means I have to balance 10 pieces of information. That was way too much. So early on, with the list building in mind and point values in mind, I decided to bake the pilot and the ship into the same piece of information. And that still allowed us a way to create an X-Wing that could have a variety of point values based on the level of experience that the pilot had. So I ended up this isn't exactly how it worked out, but I ended up thinking more about an X-Wing in terms of being worth 30 to 35 points. And a pilot, if I wanted to get to 50 points, was going to need to be 15 to 20 points then. And that made me reconsider exactly how much of this point value do we put on the ship and how much of this point value do we put on the pilot. So going around and around through, I don't know how many playtests, we started to get a better idea. And then that value went up and down as we started to play around with building ships that we knew were more or less powerful and pilots who were more or less experienced and could do more things. Like Luke as a veteran pilot was going to be worth more points as Luke as a novice pilot. And Imperial Stormtroopers fresh out of the academy are going to be worth a lot fewer points than one of them manned by a veteran who's been, piloting a TIE fighter for decades for the Imperial Army. And so it really became playing around with that formula of X equals 2Y, or 1Y actually equaling 2X, if you get what I mean, and figuring out exactly how are we going to play around with these. And so you'll notice with the quick start rules in the core game, you take Luke and you take 2 low value X-Wing pilots and you put them together, TIE fighters, and you put them together to be able to get a roughly balanced experience to at least cut your teeth on and learn the basic mechanics of the game.
So in the development process, you mentioned earlier that one of your producers had the idea for the nubs. So clearly this is not a product that you put together by yourself.
Right.
What was it like working on the team that brought that? Who else did you get to get some really good ideas from?
Well, first of all, when we got Star Wars, everybody at Fantasy Flight Games was excited and everybody wanted to be involved in some level, whether they were in marketing, whether they were in administration or production. Everybody wanted to see this game succeed. So I'm really fortunate that I get my name on the box, but dozens of other people were involved to be able to make this a success. And I worked closely with people like Corey Kineska, and at the time, Brady and Adam Sandler, the twins, were working at Fantasy Flight Games, and they were really critical in working on this game too. Adam Sadler, in fact, was the person who came up with the focus mechanic and being able to add that to the dice so that we had this other hook for mechanics to be able to unlock potential for pilots to be able to trigger different abilities once focus was unlocked on the dice. So a lot of people were involved. And the other thing is I could always find playtesters for this game. So if I was, worried about the next level or the next iteration, all I had to say was, hey, folks, what are you doing for lunch? Does anybody want to help me playtest this new ship or playtest this new mock-up? And I always had people who were eager to get involved. Another big shout out would go to the person who was involved with organized play at the time, Jeffrey Vatika, and he was making sure that the organized play structure would be consistent so that at the stores, when you would go to play one of these organized events, go to a tournament or go to some other event, that the people participating in those would have a good time. So working with him and the other organized play people and having that concept that we're going to have to work from that, that's how I eventually came up with, all right, 100 points is going to be our target. It's a nice, easy number to add up to. We can make sure that it's going to be roughly this many starships and this many additional cards that you're going to do to supplement that, whether it's weapons arrays or whether it's other things that you're doing to augment your ships, and making sure that we could create this product that could hold up over time, not only over months, but over years of this game's product life. And after about the third wave of the game, I stepped back and started to work on other products because I was also responsible for the Star Wars roleplay line. So not only was I working on X-Wing, I was working on the roleplay line of Edge of the Empire and Force of Destiny and Age of Rebellion. So I was juggling a lot of different things in the Star Wars universe. And eventually that development got passed on to other designers and developers. And that's when people like James Niffen started getting involved, Alex Davies, Max Brooks, and the team that really took that over. So after, like I said, about wave 2 or 3, I stepped back and I had these plans for what I wanted some of these ships down the road to do. But at that point, when I stepped away, there were still years and years of X-Wing development to be done that I wasn't able to be involved with. And I really wish I could have, but I saw that it was in great hands, and they came up with concepts and ideas that I would never have been able to come up with because my design chops are kind of in a different area. I was great at coming up with the original ideas and coming up with this mechanical system that could support all of these ideas that these other fantastic designers would eventually weave into the game.
After you left the game, after you started working on other projects, and you saw the game develop, what could you say after its creation that you were the proudest of? So you helped to put this game into the world. What are you most proud of since you did that?
Wow, that's really tough to say because it's like choosing my favorite kid. But I was really excited when the Scum faction was introduced, when we started to see more mercenaries in the game, because originally we were only going to have the Imperials and the Rebels to start with, the Alliance and the Imperials, because we knew those ships so well. But from the movies and from all the other supplemental content for Star Wars, there's this deep, rich world. Like I wanted to see Bosk's Houndstooth, and I wanted to see Dengar's ship, and I wanted to see all of these others out there, like IG-88's ship, and what are all of these going to do? And so it was really, really exciting when that dream was realized and they started to develop these other ships that didn't really fall cleanly under the Imperial banner or the Rebels. So being able to see those grow and seeing all of the space that opened up to explore not only new ships and pilots, but also new tactics from players, because now there were 3 different lists that you had to be wary of if you were going to participate in high level play, and 3 different metas or top strategies that you had to be aware of between the additional maneuverability that they were going to come into, and oh my gosh, now we're going to start to get cloaking, we're going to get missiles, we're going to get all of these other things that originally I knew would be part of the game. And I just tried to create a game that was going to be open and flexible enough that when the people came along that were going to handle those, that I created a chassis that they could put the chrome on.
So how does it feel as, in retrospect, 8 years after its creation, how does it feel to see what the community has done with it and what the game has evolved into these days?
Oh, it's just, it's one of the things I'm most proud of in my career. Not only for being able to work on a Star Wars property because Star Wars has been so important to me, but also I really think that I worked hard and deserve my name on that box, but the supporting cast that helped me get there, that's why when people play, you hear people quoting the lines from the movie and you hear them making sound effects. Like, I love going to a convention or a tournament and hearing people going, and make it, because I know that they're engaged in the game and I know that they're having so much fun. But from tournament and high level play, while I enjoy that, nothing makes me happier than hearing stories or having somebody stop me or send me an email saying, you know what, I was able to introduce my son or daughter or my niece or nephew or my dad or brother to miniatures gaming through X-Wing. Like, this brought us back together. or this was their first miniatures game. Like, to me, that is one of the most rewarding things as a designer, period. If somebody plays my game, I mean, you can't ask for much more than that. But if they responded positively to it, if they had a great experience, or if it was their entry into this fantastic hobby, like, that is a contact high that few things can match. And out of all the games I've designed, the Star Wars roleplay line and X-Wing are the two games that most people come and tell me was their first step into, or how they introduced others to, the tabletop community.
Not to jump on that bandwagon, but that's literally how I started playing my first miniatures game. I was at my local game store. I saw the core set. This was during Wave 1. I saw the core set. My nephew was coming over for the weekend. As a good uncle, I had introduced him to Star Wars years ago. And I asked the local game store owner, hey, is this easy enough for somebody of the 6 or 7 year old range that they could understand it and have fun with it? And the ships were just gorgeous.
Yeah.
The models were probably some of the best that I'd ever seen come out in a game. And so I picked it up, took it home, totally with the intent of teaching it to my little nephew and giving us something to do over the weekend. And I fell in love. And I think by the end of that week, I'd gone out, between local game stores and Amazon, I'd probably purchased another 20 ships from Wave 1 just so that I could have more. Didn't need them. You can't build lists with 8 Y-Wings, but I wanted 8 Y-Wings. And so it was just fascinating. And that's totally how I got involved and it was my first miniatures game as well.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Thanks for sharing that story. It makes me think, though, with the models and the miniatures, there was another huge influx of people who got into the game when the Millennium Falcon was introduced. Because the Millennium Falcon is arguably the most iconic starship across every license that exists, except for maybe some Federation ships from Star Trek. But what's amazing is one of the digital artists at Fantasy Flight Games, Jason Bedoin, he had never done a 3D full model that was going to later be cast and made into a plastic miniature. And he was told that the Millennium Falcon was going to be the first ship he was going to design and build in a 3D environment. So, like, no pressure, right? Just get the most important ship in the Star Wars universe right. And kudos to Jason Bedoin, he nailed it. Lucasfilm came back and said that it was the most detailed Millennium Falcon that they had ever seen at that scale. It had all the details to be there, but also when it was painted, it looked so beautiful. I knew that Christmas it came out, I ended up just buying Millennium Falcons for, like, my brother-in-law and for my friends and family that didn't even play miniatures game, just so that they could have this awesome looking starship at the desk at work, right? So there are a lot of great stories like that of people who really stepped up their game to make X-Wing this fantastic success. And to all the fans too, right? Like, this would not have become so successful if there weren't this engaging community of players. So if you go to a store and you saw people playing, that they were so welcoming to say, hey, why don't you sit down? Let's teach you this game. But then also the organized play people at Fantasy Flight Games were so great by supporting the stores. And then this online community came together too, where they would be sharing lists and critiquing strategies and coming together to just talk about this game. And I really think that while the game is solid and I'm really proud of it, I'm just as proud as the community that developed around it, as they really drove this game forward. And events like yours wouldn't exist without not only the popularity of the game, but the way the community comes together to support each other and to support awesome causes.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The community is what makes events like this be absolutely wonderful. We've grown. We started in 2014 with a little city here in South Bend. One store, we had 39 people, and then this year we had planned on 35 locations in 7 countries, probably around 1,400 people. Last year alone, we raised over $47,000 that we were able to give to St. Jude and to the Telethon Kids Institute. And I don't raise that money. That's from the community that puts that in and just generously gives. And I could not be happier to be a part of it. This, especially for my first game and my first game community like this has been an extraordinarily wonderful experience for sure.
And that's why I was so excited to be able to talk to you when you told me about this, and just seeing another example of the community coming together and using gaming as a way to give back. Gamers are among the most awesome people on the planet. And finding a group that you resonate with, that you have shared interests with, is amazing. And Star Wars is such a common ground for so many people that I love seeing Star Wars, and a game that I was able to contribute to, helping people together and be able to contribute to things. So thank you very much for putting on this event and for raising all the money for such an awesome cause.
To go back to the development process, were you yourself somebody who actually played the game as well? Sometimes it can be a little bit of a line between work and play, and like, no, this is just a job for me. But were you somebody that played the game? And if you did, what did you enjoy about it?
Oh, it was never just a job to me. I relocated my family from St. Louis to the Twin Cities in Minnesota for this. I was working 50, 60 hours a week because I wanted to nail this, and I wanted this to be the best product it could possibly be. And I played the heck out of this game, especially from the playtesting, but also when the game first came out, I played it quite a bit. And I would go to tournaments, and I would travel a lot and go to conventions to talk about the game, but also see people play. But, as I started to work on other projects, and eventually I left Fantasy Flight Games after 5 or 6 years there, when it was handed off to other people, I grew a little bit more distant. So while I'm not up on the current meta as much as I wish I could be, when I do play, what I love to do is I love to pick a faction, shuffle up all the ship cards, and deal myself out ships at random until I'm around the 85 to 90 point range. And then I take all of the small cards and I shuffle them together, and I'll start to deal out augments and weapon systems and other things like that until I'm right at that 98, 99, 100 point range. And I will take to the table a squadron that I have never seen before, with, decked out with tricks that I don't know about, and just enjoy the game. And what I love doing about that is I'll see combinations that I would have never expected to see. I might see strategies unfold that I never thought, but then also I know that this wasn't my list at risk. So if I get my butt handed to me, which happens a lot, then I'm like, well, I just dealt these out at random. What do you expect? But no, it really helps me appreciate the work that all these other people put into the game, because I'm able to see their ships, and I'm able to see the accessories that they built into it and the other rules that they developed. So if people haven't done that before, I encourage them to just try that. Grab your collection, shuffle up some cards, deal them out, put together a squadron that's not of your own making, and just see what happens. See if you uncover some pleasant surprises and some interesting tactics out. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I really, really appreciate you taking the time to spend with us and talk about some of the history of the development of how X-Wing got to where it was. Would you have anything that you'd like to share with the community as a parting note?
I think it's a real testimony to not only the game, but more to the community, that the game has been around long enough that second edition was warranted. As robust as we tried to make the initial game, it lasted so long that the community was able to show us that there's more to do, that the game can be better. And so we wanted to make a better game for the community as well. So I'm really, really excited that the fans have supported this game long enough that this whole new world of possibilities has opened up with the new edition. So thank you, fans and players, I guess.
All right. Well, we'll talk to Jay a little bit more later, where we'll talk about game development as a whole. So those of you that have had your own ideas and your own passions about things in the game community, we'll talk to Jay, and he'll help us to understand what it takes to develop a game from start to finish. So come back and watch us then. Jay, thank you, and we'll see you shortly.
You bet.
And welcome back to the studio. Just want to give you a reminder, for the next half hour, if you give $10, you will be able to be in the running to win one of these rare con-exclusive Naboo Royal N1s. They're very nice and a lot of fun to play with and hard to get. So we are going to go to Asa and Adam now, who are holding their second Battlefront 2 event. Again, join up with them. It was a lot of fun to watch, and hopefully that you'll have fun with them. So Asa and Adam, go ahead and take it away.
Let's get ready to rumble!
That's right, everybody. Welcome back to Battlefront 2 here on the CAC Telethon stream. My name is Asa Graff for what was Back to Dials.
And my name is Adam from the now ghost of Back to Dials.
Absolutely. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. Our stream server is CAC Telethon. That's going to be on the classic Battlefront 2, now available on Steam for about $10 if you want to join us in today. Last night we did Galactic Republic. Tonight we're doing Clone Wars era. That means the stakes are a little bit higher. So we're going to be donating just a little bit more money. Isn't that right, Adam?
Yep, we're doing $2 per death today because we only died like 10 and 15 times yesterday, I think. Like, come on, guys, what are you doing?
Exactly, come on.
You want to fight cancer or not?
So we are each going to be donating $2 per death today, and I would like to, for no other reason, no particular reason, remind everybody that friendly fire is on in this mode.
Do with that what you will.
Do with that information what you will. And if you also want to donate and get in on this train, I would highly encourage everybody to type !donate in that chat and get some money going the way of Twin Sons Charities. Thank you to them for having us on today. I once again cannot fathom why they allowed us to do that. I see a couple of our friends on, and let's get going. Remember, !donated, because I am on the side of the CIS. That means it is robot voice time.
Woo!
And there's one.
There's
one already.
Wow, really? Nice.
Yep. There's one already. Okay, yeah, you guys are taking this to heart. Thanks, everybody. All right, gonna go ahead and follow Deslin here for a second. In the Beelzebub fighter. Oh, there's a Tri-Fighter. That's right. It's such a long time since I've played CIS in this game. Let's,
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of Galactic Republic.
Oh, hey there, bud. How you doing?
Uh-oh. Oh, dodge the missiles! Ah! Nope. Aha!
And isn't this what X-Wing really is all about?
All right, come on. I'm in a Jedi Starfighter. I just got to use my Force tokens and stuff.
Exactly.
Oh.
And I'm, oh no, come on. Don't, missiles, that's uncool. Maybe don't lock onto me, actually.
Oh no! There's a lock.
Hey, where'd you go? Oh, hello, that's
maybe
two.
This will help. Oh, there's one for me. Oh,
that's two. But they're all the auto turrets. I'm having
the auto turrets are the MVPs,
auto turrets are overpowered in this game.
Oh, I see Certosa here. He's infiltrating. Good job, Certosa. Ooh, okay. I think it's Arc 170 time. I have to. Woohoo!
That's right, Certos.
Ah, General Grievous. I thought you'd be taller. Whoa!
Oh, hey, look, there's an Arc 170.
Uh-oh.
Imagine. I wonder who that could be.
Nope. No! There's two.
I like. I'm trying to find and kill you for the money while everybody else is actually playing this game. Somebody has been flying around to disabling all of their sensors, disabling all their stuff, which I really appreciate.
I totally forgot.
Oh, there's three.
That, I totally forgot. Nope. Oh, this thing's on fire. Hang on. Can I fix this?
Thanks again, everybody, for joining in. Even if Adam can't fix it, you can help us fix cancer by going to !donate. Type !donate in the chat. That's going to get you a link to donate to Twin Sons Charities. Remember, we will be donating $2 for each death today. Join in with us if you'd like.
I was up to 3, I think.
I think I'm close there too. Oh, there's some.
3.
Oh, hi Tom. How's it going, bud?
All right.
Tom was trying to infiltrate. That's not acceptable.
Playing the game.
How dare he play the game?
Oh, and I just crashed into my own ship. That's 4.
That's 4? All right. I would like to remind everybody that friendly fire is on in this, just for no particular reason. But I'll couch that with the other notice that Adam and I are donating money for each death. So with there's 5. There's something.
All right. Ooh. Yay.
And if you'd like to get in on the action, type !donate in chat. That's a great way to help out Twin Sons Charities and everybody there who has helped us out today.
Whoa.
Looks like we've got about 23 minutes left in our spot right here. And then we're gonna hand it back to Chad with the rest of Twin Sons Charities for the rest of this excellent X-Wing event today. Once again, thanks everybody for joining, and this is Star Wars Battlefront 2. If you want to join in with us, our server is CAC Telethon. Isn't that right, Adam?
Yep, that is correct. CAC Telethon. There's no password or anything, so you should be able to just join.
In this game, it's interesting. The Beelzebub fighter is the bomber for the CIS because they hadn't, I guess, done the hyena yet.
I wonder if that was like a thing yet. All right, I'm gonna make you pay $2. Oh,
are you?
Did I get you?
No, you did not.
No, I did not. Whoa!
Dude, you're so close.
All right. Oh, I know. It's so hard to like.
Somebody else. Yeah, somebody got. Yes. There you go. There's $2.
There's $2. All right. So I believe that puts you at 6.
I believe that puts me at yes. Is that 6 deaths? Yeah.
Oh, there's 6 for me as well.
I would encourage everybody, if you are playing, also get in on this donation train. Donate $1 or $2 per death, and that will help us reach our goals here today. I think they were at what was that? About 20,000 when I last checked. 15, 20,000, something like that.
I can't say. I'm not sure actually, but we do have a $50,000 donation cap. Not cap.
A goal.
That's the word. So if you can help us try and meet that goal by either killing Asa and me a lot, or
not that I want to have a big target painted on my head. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that was. There's another one. That was my own fault.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, that was my own fault. This is, you see a question in chat, this is OG Battlefront 2. So the classic version that's now available on Steam for about $10 right now.
Yeah, I think it's like $10. It's real cheap and real fun.
It's extremely fun. If you want to join in with us, it's an excellent way to have a little bit of fun. Donate per death to cancer.
Servers and stuff, as you can see, so you don't have to do any wonkiness to play online with other people. It's fantastic. Whoop.
Okay, I'm being absolutely lit up. There's another one.
Was it the auto turrets too?
It's just the auto turrets. No, there was like 2 other people on me. Thank you for helping us reach our donation goal, but
so 7 for me.
I think that's like 9 for me now.
So Teslat's doing a bang-up job doing the infiltration over there.
Absolutely.
I keep popping to him. Wait, is someone sitting on this? Oh, yep, okay, cool. Their life support systems have been destroyed.
Oh, there's another one.
Destroy the life support systems of cancer. Just type !donate.
There you go, Adam, to get on the donation segue train. Perfect.
That's right.
Wait, somebody's also infiltrating us.
Uh-oh. No,
I gotta
not
go
the
fix
missile.
that.
Ow, 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 ow. Oh boy. Oh boy. And there I go. There's 8.
And if you want to make it, 1,000 against cancer, go ahead and type !donate here in the chat. Oh, Paul, come on!
Stop your I'm just screaming.
How dare you, Paul? Go, Patrick.
I
Patrick,
basically
yes.
just kind of jump out and then I scan for players that are real players and not just computers. Oh, okay. Here's one. Here's one. Here's one. Because oh no,
Paul. Okay, there's another one. Paul is single-handedly causing more donations than the auto turrets. Good job, Paul.
Good job. That's what we wanted here.
Exactly.
We want more kills from actual players than auto turrets.
Absolutely. And if you want to join in, again, our server is CAC Telethon. That's CAC Telethon. Join in on the Battlefront 2 fun here today. More like Battle Fun 2. That's the OG version. And type !donate in the chat to give us give Cancer a little what for. Why don't you?
A little what for?
Or give him a little what for, mates. We're probably gonna get crucified by some English people, by Darren Granger for that.
I mean, you don't have to do anything to. Oh, I almost ran into the ship. You know, all right. Oh, he's inside the ship. That's why. I always thought the callouts in this game were kind of fun.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know how accurate they are, but every once in a while, they're like, "There's a bomber on your tail." I'm like,
Okay. There's defeat.
Hey!
Separatists have been defeated.
No like more
Roger for me.
Roger.
So that was 10 deaths this game for me. Adam, looks like you took 6.
Oh,
we're going to go
only
ahead and
6,
do
okay.
another game here. We have just about 15 minutes left.
Yeah, so that's good. All right.
And type !donate in chat, !donate in chat to get links on how to donate to the Twin Sons Charity Foundation. Give a little bit of money towards cancer. Have some fun today and join us on Battlefront 2. Thanks to everybody who allowed us to be in here. Once again, I don't know why. Now I'm on the Republic. There we go. Everybody's coming in. This is excellent.
I'm also on the Republic.
Oh no. However, will we get...
Oh no, overheated.
Who's gonna get their $2?
I don't. How do I throw a grenade? I'm just pushing buttons now. Oh, okay.
Yep, there's $2.
There's another 2. All right, so I guess I'm up to 7 total.
There you go.
It's a lot harder to keep
Team
track in my
kill.
head than I thought. But
Remember,
I guess that's why we
just
have
on an unrelated note, friendly fire is on.
Yep. Oh, and now the game is actually starting. Okay, but that still counts. So we're still at 7.
This is the classic assault game mode. We're gonna go to other people's ships and destroy everything inside and outside to win the game. If you want to join us, go ahead and download the OG Battlefront 2. Our server is CAC Telethon. Again, our server is CAC Telethon. Hey, Adam. Hi, Adam.
I was looking. All right, cool. Yeah, just get me while I'm AFK. That's fine.
Exactly. A death is a death, and the death is $2. That's right. Adam and I are each donating $2 for each of our deaths here today. If you're joining us, I would encourage you to hop on that donation train. Also, donate a couple bucks for each death you take today, because the only death we want to continue from this is death of cancer. That is !donate in chat. Again, !donate in chat to see how you can contribute to Twin Sons Charities and the fight against cancer here at the CAC.
All right, I think it's time I fly one of these LAATs. Lats. I probably should have waited for people to jump in this thing, but here we are.
Where do you think you're going, Paul? That's right.
I don't like flying these. This is real slow. I don't know what I expected.
Oh dear. Okay. That's one way to stop an invader. If you just crash right into them.
That'll do it. I've tried
Rob
to.
Beals, hello in the LAAT. What an absolute legend, Rob Beals.
We're taking fire.
Attention, Victor Echo 1-2. Come in. Repeat. Victor Echo 1-2.
Oh no! I see Tom on the opposing team. I'm trying to turn around. Let's go.
Where'd you go, Paul?
Haha!
Paul has this habit of disappearing from my sights. It's almost as if he's good at Battlefront.
Or good at games in general.
Remember Adam and I when you donated? Oh, hello. Somebody just tried to crash right into me. I guess that's one way to get that $2.
I mean, that's a pretty easy way to get that $2.
Yes, it is.
Oh, someone's right on my tail.
Remember, everybody, our server is CAC Telethon. That's CAC Telethon. This is the OG Battlefront 2. We got about 12 minutes left, maybe the start of one more game after this. How's it going, Patrick?
Nah.
I love seeing these names that I've played with and against on the X-Wing tables before and heard on podcasts, just finally on there we go.
All right. What ship should I fly next? Hey,
Paul.
Well, there is. Oh, I haven't flown one of these things yet. I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna fly it. Oh, is this a V-wing? I think it's a V-wing. That's right, the V-wing. Whee! Oh, this is way faster than the thing I was just flying. Oh, look who I found.
If you found Paul, I also found Paul. There we go. Many of us found Paul at the same time. Good job, everybody. Good job, everybody. That's how we do.
We've done it.
We've done it. We have wrecked the Paul. All right, another one coming in. And if you want to come in clutch in the fight against cancer, that's ! Donate in chat. Remember, that's ! Donate in the chat. Get yourself a link to donate to CAC. Ow. An ! Donate in chat to get yourself a link to donate to CAC. Let's donate a lot today.
Our engines have been destroyed.
Yeah.
Remember, Adam and I are each donating $2 to death.
Yep, and oh boy, incoming missiles. I'm up to 8.
I think I'm a little bit higher than that. Oh, hello. There's one of my friends. Well, you're all my friends, but that's one of my IRL friends. So they deserve an extra dose of kill. What's up, Tom?
Oh boy. Yeah, we got Patrick. Oh no! Incoming missiles! Oh, that was a fun dodge. Ow.
There you go, Tom.
Incoming missiles! I feel like I'm getting pretty okay at dodging those. Like surprisingly okay. Oh no, I lost tracking.
Let's say, Adam, our viewers want to help dodge the missiles of cancer. How would they do that?
They would either push S twice or type ! Donate in the chat, which is a lot easier than pushing S twice, just trust me.
It is. Also, pushing S twice does not allow you to give money to cancer research.
So there's also that. Also, like, whoa!
Our shields have been
I don't
disabled.
remember what I was gonna say. But you should do the ! Donate.
Exactly. ! Donate in chat is going to give you a link to donate to Twin Sons Charities. Give a couple bucks. Give a couple bucks per death like Adam and I are doing, because that is what we're doing most of this time.
Yep.
Is dying. Although, knock on wood, I haven't
just
died a
ran
lot in
into
the last 5 minutes.
I just ran into Paul. Oh, that was fun.
I just ran. I'm on Deslin's tail right now. Let's see who comes out ahead of this one.
Oh boy.
Spoiler alert, it was me.
It was me.
I've been staying at the risk of just immediately calling down all fire. I have been alive for way too long. Also,
Yeah,
friendly
same
fire
here.
is
I've been in
enabled.
this ship for kind of a while. Oh boy, someone's on my tail.
Yeah, see, there we go. Oh.
Droid Starfighter, take evasive action.
I'm very much enjoying this V-Wing. We should see V-Wings come to X-Wing with
Yeah, I'll say that V-Wing has actually been pretty all right. It's like a very good match mix of hull and speed, and
I really like the hit scan weapons.
Really
Those are
hard.
really nice.
Ow. Oh, missiles. Ah, dodge the missiles. Ah, someone's really wants me to die. Ah. Oh no. Do a barrel roll. And there I go. There's 9.
Oh, that was
Can
Paul
we make
too.
it to
How
double
dare you,
digits,
Paul?
guys? You can get me to 10 again. I believe in you.
Nighthound Tier, welcome to the match. If you want to join and you have this classic Battlefront 2 on Steam, and that's the classic Battlefront 2, not the new EA version. Classic Battlefront 2, that's about $10 on Steam. And if you want to instead take that $10 or 10 additional dollars, give it to Cancer Research. That's what, Adam? What's that link?
That link is ! Donate. Oh, I found Paul. I'm getting him.
I can see somebody in the auto turrets right now just spamming them back and forth. This is perfect. That's why I love the OG Battlefront.
I guess that's one method for auto turreting.
Somebody stole a V-Wing. Deslin, I'm gonna get my V-Wing back. I'm gonna get my V-Wing back, buddy.
Whoa. No. Ah, there's 10.
10 deaths?
Congratulations, Tom.
I don't know how I am still alive.
You have performed death number 10.
I do not know how I am still alive, but the Republic is getting, the Separatists are getting dangerously close to victory, CIS folks.
Their frigate has been destroyed.
We can't let this happen.
Ooh. Arc 170. No, it took off. Ah, I really want. Okay, I'm gonna.
Oh, defeat. There we go. Hey, we got 5 more minutes left. We got 5 more minutes before we're gonna hand it back. Let's just go ahead and start one more game. See how many more we can get.
Yep.
That was. It only says I got 1 death that game. Absolutely. That seems impossible.
Everyone's been focusing on me.
Well, that's perfect because you got 4. Let's ramp it up.
Because I'm up to 10 now. Because I also got 1 in the pregame.
That'll bring me to 11. Let's go ahead and ramp it up. Remember, friendly fire is on. Just saying.
Still in this.
For no particular reason, but friendly fire is on.
I am on CIS.
There we go. We only got about 5 more minutes left before we hand it back over to Chad and the rest of the stream tonight. So go ahead and join. We will finish out the game when we are kicked back off. But go ahead and join. We're gonna have a blast for about 5 minutes. Again, exclamation point donate in the chat. Exclamation point donate in the chat. We'll get you that donation link to give a little bit of money to CAC's Twin Sons Charities. And here we go.
I think I want to fly a Vulture Droid. Ooh, Vulture Droid. Here we go. Up. Almost didn't leave the hangar. Okay,
I love how you can kick the AIs
Everything's
out
fine.
of the ships.
Yeah, that's really nice. Wait, is this your ship or no? This is
Hey Tom, how's it going? How's it going, bud?
Yeah. Oh, that was close. Sometimes I forget how to fly.
Just so everybody
that's not
knows,
true,
for
actually.
no
A lot of
for no
times I forget how to
particular
fly.
reason, not related
Ow.
at all to the
There's
fact
a-
that I want to get some money going. I am in a V-wing right now.
And I will be in another vulture droid because I've been liking those.
Oh, there we go. There's one.
Roger, roger.
Got him.
Oh wait, no, I didn't die. How did I not die from that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, missiles came
Wow.
in and they were right on me. How did I not die from that?
I'm in a Bulbasaur, if you will. Uh-oh, we got a carrier coming over.
Stage pilots on deck.
Oh, there we go. There's one. There's one.
So I'm up to 11 as well.
That'll bring me to 12. Remember, exclamation point donate in the chat is the button that I'm going to be clicking here in just a second. As soon as as soon as this game is over, exclamation point donate in order to give that money for per death to CAC. And you, oh, there's another one. That'll bring me to 13, which is 26 bucks because I'm donating $2 per death. You all should do the same. Donate a couple bucks per death or per kill, whichever one you feel would be higher.
Ooh, that would be fun. That would be fun for, yeah, do every time you kill one of us, also do it, because then it's just basically, you know, increasing that by a lot, by
Exactly.
exponential.
Exactly.
By exponential. I use good words, me
Water turret
educated.
defenses have been disabled.
All right, let's see if I can chase down Paul here. What is he flying? Oh, he's the Jedi Starfighter. Oh, I got him! Ha ha!
Good job. Killer Aardvark, you do
He
so
just
much
got
excellent.
Bulbasaur.
Killer Aardvark does so much excellent work on our X-Wing forums that it just seems right to blast him down. Doesn't it?
Attack that bomber!
There we go. There we go. Me and Darth Rylus. Killer Aardvark's reign of
Incoming
terror
missile.
is over.
Dodge! Kind of worked.
Remember, Adam and I are donating $2 per death, so that's Stanky Sauce. Stanky Sauce? That's Stanky Sauce and Yeettheon Millennial Mind.
How are we doing on time there, Asa?
We got about a minute left, so remember, just about a minute to type exclamation donate in the chat for our game. And you could do that at any time today, but we are going to be here for just about another minute here playing the original Battlefront 2. Thanks for letting us on, and once again, everybody there at CAC, you're doing an excellent job. This has been a fantastic telethon, and we're honored to be here. After this game is over, Adam and I will both... Oh, there's another one. Killer Aardvark got his revenge. Or oh, that was really good job. Good job.
Attention, all second stage pilots on deck.
That's another $2.
Another
for
$2.
you.
And this game is just super fun anyway, so y'all should pick it up. But not before you type exclamation point donate in chat. That's the most important thing to do right now, is type exclamation point donate in chat, isn't it, Adam?
That is the most important thing you can do. You should do it.
Type exclamation point donate in chat. Get yourself a link.
Almost crashed into a ship.
Donate a couple bucks.
And then I think
Water turret
we're
defenses
about
have been
ready
disabled.
here. We got, you know, not too much
About
time
30
left.
seconds
We will
left.
continue to play for a little bit, but continue to watch on stream, continue to
Attention,
support,
all second stage
give us that
pilots on
exclamation
deck.
point donate, and yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Here.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Continue to fight against cancer for the rest of the CAC stream. Again, that's exclamation point donate in chat. That's what we really want to see. That's the point of all of this today and yesterday. And thanks again to Chad. He's doing an excellent job staying up for God knows how many hours. That is our time, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And we'll hand it back to Chad. Thank you.
Thank you, Asa and Adam. I will admit that was as much fun to watch the second time around as it was the 1 a.m. stream. So thank you guys for doing that. It really means a lot. I'm glad people were that came in and engaged with you. And I will admit I was in there for a little bit secretly. I had a blast just for a few minutes. And really, thank you guys for doing that. So we've come to a point we've got more prizes to give away. So this is for coins, Plo Koon, and our last Royal Naboo N1. So the coins this round are Scott Olofsson, Daniel Leon. The Plo Koon is Alan Clark, and our last silver N1 goes to Hayden Sutherland. Congratulations to you guys for winning those. And for our next prize announcement, we are going to go to Gamers and Geeks down in Mobile, Alabama, and to JD. JD, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you, Chad?
Doing all right. So I don't know if anybody outside of Mobile knows this, but you've been a host of our CAC for I want to say the last 3 years. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Proudly.
But that's all. You guys do a tremendous job down there. You have an amazing community. You always come back with some of our higher numbers, and then you personally put a lot into the CAC down there, and you wanted to be a part of the telethon event.
Yeah, I was. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Tell us how you'd like to be involved.
Well, like most people that have taken part in the CAC in past years, I was slightly devastated that we weren't hosting it this year. Just understood 100%, I think was the correct call. But we, as a X-Wing community down in Mobile, like the campaign against cancer, like to give back. We as a store, Gamers and Geeks, also love hosting it. We love what it does for the community, for the country, for the world. So today we figured we'd be able to chip in as much as we could. We're going to offer a $150 gift certificate to anywhere. And if as long as it's in the United States, we'll throw free shipping on that. So all you got, our Gamers and Geeks owner just walked in. This is Tommy. Hi,
Tommy.
But we want to offer free shipping anywhere in the United States. So basically, whoever wins can get my information. I'll get their information. We'll work out what they want from us and what we can get them, and we'll get it to them as soon as possible.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. So everybody's watching. Our next prize giveaway will be the coins, Plo Koon, and this Geeks and Gamers $150 gift card, which is fantastic. JD, that's a wonderful donation. We thank you very much. You had mentioned something else that you wanted to say too.
I do. One of our big contributors every year is a very dear friend of mine named Nathan. He was very upset that he couldn't take part this year. So he decided, since this telethon is happening, he's going to just straight up donate $5,000 to Twin Sons and St. Jude's. So
that is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so
he's a really proud supporter, and he is more than happy to do it. And we'll have that to you by the end of the day.
That is awesome. Thank you guys so much. Nathan, thank you if you're watching this. You have, so we were at $1,750 before this call. That takes us up to $2,250. So we're above 20,000 now, which is just absolutely wonderful. For doing this telethon, this is a first time run for us. No idea how this is going to go, and have no real expectations for a total. But thank you so much. That is just incredibly generous and wonderful. So again, cannot thank you enough, and really, really appreciate the support.
Well, it's our pleasure, and we look forward to next year when we can get together again.
Well, thank you very much. I look forward to talking with you in the future. So we're gonna let go now, and we have another game coming up. This game out of Italy. So excited to have some European representation there. Scott, you're doing the commentation for this. Can you tell us what's coming for us?
Absolutely. So we've got a game coming from Italy, Luca versus Tommaso. We've got Resistance versus First Order. So it should be a great match. Can't wait to cast it.
Very cool. Very cool. So we're gonna go ahead and head to your stream. Thanks for commentating for us.
No problem. I just wanted to brag a little bit while people can see me. Got my my coin from last year. Very proud to be working again with the CAC this year.
So, all right, we're gonna take your stream and see what you got for us.
All right. there. Ninum with Pattern Analyzer and Heroic, and Elo with Heroic as well. On the other side, Tomasi, Daredevil Hollow, Crackshot Special Forces Gunner LaHughes, and Tavson. Now that is a lot of stuff on Tavson. Supreme Leader Snoke, Captain Phasma, Advanced Sensors, and Tactical Scrambler. Some might say that's a little too much. Yeah. And there's Snoke, who was a bounty on Hexiled Gaming at one point. He can spin a force point to look at a dial beyond range 3. Is that right? Okay. You can look at a dial. Hold on, I can just pull it up right now. There we go. At least somebody knows what they're talking about. That's why we brought you. But yeah, not used to seeing that in a competitive list. So glad Tomasi's going to show it off. Who's that going to help here? You've got Hollow and LaHughes at 5. I guess it could give you the ability to cause bumps on 6s, but we don't have that. Who does have first player here, actually? We see the... Yeah, because we see those Resistance 5s moving after Hollow and LaHughes, so yeah, it would allow LaHughes and Tavson. I'm just going to turn something down on my end. Yeah, so Hollow's the one that needs to hand a token off, a red token, which is why I think we see, the target locks here. Friendly target locks onto Hollow. He's got to hand off a red token, so I guess is giving the target lock back, which breaks it. Is that what we're seeing there? Yeah. Yep. Smart. So it looks like he's sending his, we've got Luca sending those beefy T-70s into the middle of the board. A-Wings maybe going for a flank or a different line along the top there. Just to remind ourselves, LaHughes is the one that can acquire, is it spend locks as if they're LaHughes's? Yeah. Hollow's pretty good at getting locks. Tavson could be taking locks if he's shot at using his ability. So yeah, maybe there's enough fodder for LaHughes. Looks like a 3 forward from Tavson. Going towards the top of the board. Yeah, where do you want that Upsilon to engage? Looks like there's a lane there to the right. You don't need to necessarily go up to the left side of the board. I think that was a coordinate. Going fast here with Hollow. It's been so long since I had to look at a template and guess what speed it is. Oh. Yeah, let me know, guys. I'm sending Maui and everybody else, so should be hearing us, but let me know. Another fast maneuver there from LeHughes. Takes an evade. Do have Special Forces gunner on LeHughes, and that turret is facing forward, giving him the 3-dice gun. Patrick says he's hearing us, so great. Oh man, remember bumping ships? There are so many things other than there's so many little things, other than just like the strategic substance of this game that I'm appreciating. Like, look at those physical tokens. Look at those ships not perfectly aligned. Look at them getting bumped. Look at the table moving. It's like I've never seen the physical world before. Yeah, this is awesome. So bank in from ZZ. So they're not going to take too long flanking here. There's the boost. And hollows. Yeah. See hollow checking to transfer that token. Doesn't really matter. Here we go. Back to dials. The problem for the A-Wings, they have to commit to a certain direction around that debris in the middle. So are they going to end up with just a central joust, or are they going to take their time, bank, boost to the right side of that debris, and come around behind the rest of the First Order? Yeah, like how much... Oh! Right. I don't know. I kind of want to see the crisscross. I think that's big brain. Send ZZ into the firing arc. She's the tanky one. Send Tally around behind. Keep them guessing. Yeah, I'm going to miss that. I'm going to yell for Tally to spin that focus for optics every time, and you're going to have to remind me every single time. It's not there, Scott. It's in your mind. One thing I didn't miss about physical X-Wing is these beefy First Order dials. I guess it's just the Tavson one, because they always remind me of Halloween Oreos, and it makes me hungry. Also, can we check the clock? How long did it take for me to start talking about food on stream? Okay. Here's a too hard. Just things like holding your template down. Oh, man. It's so foreign. Totem says 10 minutes. Thank you. It's like I haven't done it in so long. Seeing somebody else do it, it's like, oh yeah, remember that feeling? It's like I haven't done it in so long. He's coming in behind, seeing somebody else do it, it's like, oh yeah, remember that feeling? Takes a focus. Hughes coming in behind. Takes a focus.
Oh, apparently they're only hearing you. Is it that the is our casting thing not going over there or something?
It is.
Curious. Oh, they can hear me now. Hi, everybody. I've been
Guys,
here the
don't
whole
tell
time.
like
I
I'm not
promise.
touching anything. Maybe, guys, if there's a silence, it doesn't mean that we're talking and you're not hearing us. It's just that we're bad, and we're in awe of physical X-wing.
No, we're all working now.
Okay. There's a focus. Oh boy, reading those depletes or strains is going to be problematic. We'll know when those dice roll.
So my personal default is to go for a strain, unless I have a very good reason to go for a deplete.
That doesn't tell me much.
So yeah.
All right, so he moves. Oh, you know, I need to find out which of these X-wings is which.
Yeah, I'm also I'm assuming that ZZ's the red A-wing.
Yeah,
I
we
would
got the
also
A-wings
assume that
right. I just need to figure out the T-70s.
My assumption was that
Which
9
one is the
was
black
in the
one?
black one. Yeah. But that's just based on the fact that 9 so often has the black one upgrade. Ooh, a fearless tally right there.
Just facing down that 4-die
Just
Epsilon.
Absolutely gives 0 cares about. Oh my goodness.
Okay. So Elo is the gray and blue. Neen is the black and orange. I'm going to make Neen orange because black doesn't show up too well in the overlay. All right, so he's he's all in with these A-wings.
Oof.
Checking for the token transfer. Doesn't go anywhere. Nothing in range 2. Nothing for Hollow to shoot at. LaHughes. Oh man, physical dice. They're going to roll them. What will the results be? These are the things you care about.
Hopefully we can see them.
Is that enthusiasm coming through?
Yes.
It's only halfway through the coffee, baby. We're just getting started.
Just getting started.
Let's go. Oh, table clutter.
Man, watching people actually measure for range and not right click on things.
What are you talking about?
What?
Here's 2 blanks. I think that's
focus blank blank.
Yeah.
Troll roll to get things started.
Unless that was tally, then there's no optics. You can't troll tally.
I mean,
that was 3 dice, so it couldn't have been. Yeah.
He just rolled a troll roll with tally, so awkward. Oh my goodness!
Twice in a row! Oh no! Yoda's in the chat. The troll roll.
Oh, and I was over here excited because he got basically a 3-on-1 for the opening engage. Oh man.
ZZ or Tally spinning the charge, I think, for the bullseye ability.
Yep. No matter who Tavson's shooting, they're going to roll an extra die.
Yeah. 4 dice from Tavson. Not sure what tokens he has.
Yeah, so this is Tavson on ZZ.
I see 3.
It's 4, so it must be on Elo. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So it was 2 plus range 3 plus tally for 4 dice.
Okay, yeah, Tavson on Elo.
All right, back to dials.
I don't think that's what you wanted.
There was 1 shield. Looks like 1 shield on Elo.
Elo lost 1 shield, yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough for the resistance to get that 3 shots on Tabson for trading for 1 shot, and the resistance comes off worse than that.
Yeah. And Tabson gets to move up and block.
Yeah. Yeah, Tabson's going to be a real pain
He
right
does.
here.
Now, the A-Wings can turn away and shoot out the back, so that's not a big problem. I guess it's the T-70s that are going to have a little bit of a harder problem.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty easy decision for ZZ to just hard turn off to the right side of the board here, or left or right.
You saying it's easy for ZZ?
I sure am.
It ain't easy being easy.
Look, I already made the joke.
I just
Leave it
reversed
alone.
it. It's fine.
It was perfect. So I don't know what token Hollow took, but I know he wants to get rid of it. So we take a look at that dial. Get your... I don't think we're getting a hard turn. Probably a 1 bank, 2 bank. Could go fast with the 2, 3, or 4. I think we're going to see a 2 bank in.
That seems reasonable. Yeah, I think Tabson's in a great spot right here, just to do exactly
really
what
is.
Tabson wants to do.
Yeah.
So does he bank in front of those T-70s to take up more room, or does he just straightforward?
Probably just a 1 straight.
Yeah, that's
And just-
what I'm thinking.
He'll get a shot at something, and if anything tries to shoot at him, he's just going to get action. So,
I mean, we could see the T-70s like 3 forward boost to get shots at. At least Elo could do that. I mean, you could do like a 3 bank. Could you get past Tabson's arc and go after Hollow?
not with everything.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I mean, the A-Wings turn away, whatever.
Yeah,
I've written them off.
yeah.
They're very difficult
well,
to pin down.
The A-Wings probably just turn off to the right there, or their left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to keep all of your guns on the same target, you're probably not going to send one person herring off after Hollow.
All right, I think we're about ready to go here. Yep. Double checking those dials. Tabson. 1 forward. Who'da thunk?
That big imposing presence in the middle of the lane there.
Yeah, if you can get past him, he's going to have some trouble next turn.
Yep.
By the way, Filippo is telling us that we should feel free to give Lucas some crap for failing at heroic.
Oh, did we miss a heroic?
Yeah, he had a heroic in there. It was blanks in the blanks.
Oh, how?
No,
did,
he troll
man.
rolled every time.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I thought
No,
there were
because
focuses
he only
in there.
had the 3 attacks and they were all troll rolls, and he had results on the X-wing defense. I'm not sure
So
there
it
was
must
a
have just
heroic
been
trigger.
he was failing at it because he was just getting the focus, the troll roll.
Yeah. He got trolled.
That's what
What
we
a way-
call the troll roll, is when the heroic and also often with optics A-wing rolls 1 eyeball and then the rest are all blanks.
It's like the one roll that can't be modified into 2 hits.
It's the dice gods mocking you and punishing you for bringing the most consistent dice possible.
So it looks like Hollow took a strain there for the target lock on Tally.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, there's the turn away from the A-Wings. Let's see if is it a boost rotate to make room for Tally? No.
If Tally went the same way, she could pretty easily barrel roll rotate, and she'd still have to worry about the ISF. But she would be not in the 5 dice Tavson.
Yeah, not in the
Monster.
arc of Tavson, who shoots with 5 dice and gets more mods when you shoot at him.
Ooh.
Maybe a bump there. Oh, I mean, come on.
Well,
ooh.
It could be a dead tally if she bumps there, because that's 2 3 dice guns.
It is a bump
on her, and she doesn't have any mods. But she's also the cheapest ship in this resistance fleet.
Okay, 1 forward from Elo. Not trying to get out of here. Gonna boost. Okay. So he will take on Hollow.
Yep.
Just gotta remember that Ninum does not have Black 1. Does not have the choice to slam out of here, although I don't think another 1-speed maneuver would help him.
Oh, he's going to be the one facing the Wrath of Tavson here.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a reason to do anything but focus?
I don't think so. You can't get out of that arc. You don't want to get into range 1 of it. Tally will at least give you an extra die, assuming she's still on the board.
Are we sure she has bullseye? I mean, I know it seems like it should be if she bumped, but I don't know. She could be on that corner.
Yeah. It's hard to tell with that angle.
Here, let me just rotate the I assume that's a strain, right? They got moved over to Tavson. Yes. Okay. Range 1. Hollow into Elo.
Mm. So he's not going to take that tally bait. He's just going to.
Oh, I missed an opportunity to say Elo there.
Hello there. Hello there.
Adderall Anobi?
No, I don't like what you did. Here's the 4 dice.
No one likes what I did.
I see 3 paint.
So we got a focus, blank crit.
Oh boy. Another shield on Elo.
No mods, and a blank focus on defense.
I think it was just 1 hit.
Yeah, so 1 damage goes. Yeah, 1 damage goes through.
Yep. All right, like Hugh's gonna shoot. We don't have any locks out there yet, right? Did Hollow take a lock?
Hollow took a lock, yeah.
At 4.
Spins it for 3 hits. Goes into Neen, range 3. Spins the focus, takes 1. Oh man. Remember flipping physical charges and tokens? What do they even feel like? Here's 4. I think this is Ninum. No, because he just modded.
Average farmer members. Well, he turned it back to an eyeball, I think.
Elo into Hollow, 3 hits.
1 shield. Tally looking for a shot. Just
Hollow doesn't
heroic.
have those mods.
going range 3 into hollow there.
Yeah, it looks like 1 hit, 1 evade. All right, who's next? Did ZZ shoot yet? No, here we're going to do Knee Numb. Yeah, I like this plan. Everybody shooting into hollow potentially. Do we think ZZ's going to have a shot there? Out the back? Not well. Looking at that range,
a little bit far.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, not a hollow.
Because boy, I think nobody wants to shoot Tavson.
Yeah.
And end up giving him more mods for that knee numb shot. Ooh, somebody's happy about that roll. Looks like all paint. Natties. Not so hot on the evades.
3 blanks.
1 damage card on hollow.
Yeah. Taking.
So now if you shoot Tavson, 9's the one who's going to pay for it. Assuming you can put any damage through. And he was strained, so he doesn't get to roll any defense dice. He just gets to take his punishment.
All right, there's a target lock onto Neen.
Yeah, so Tavson took 1 damage and then used that to take a target lock on Neen.
Yep. Ooh, there's all paint.
So Neen is getting
Snoke. Hey, remember Snoke?
Snoke?
2 blanks and a focus, it looks like.
2 hit, 2 crit.
Ooh.
LO, 1 evade.
Oh, we couldn't see that.
Good,
I appreciate the effort, though. Is that a damage? It looks like it's in the nose. So is that a damage sensor array?
Hull breach on the LO.
No, that's Knee Numb at the back.
Or yeah, Neon. Yeah.
Okay.
And Phasma gives everybody stress.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not too bad for the A-wings.
No, but Elo certainly doesn't like it. Although he could just talent roll anyway because he's Elo.
So Elo, after you reveal a Talon roll maneuver, if you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, treat that maneuver as white. So who comes out ahead on that turn? You've got Hollow on 1. You've got a Hull Breach Knee Numb.
Hollow on 1 seems like a pretty big deal. Because if you can get this Tabson down to just Tabson, there's not much he can do. So getting rid of Hollow is a big step in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he's at the point where he's going to be passing Tabson, and so Tabson's going to have a hard time getting a shot here.
See, I kind of like the Talon potentially from Elo.
Oh yeah, I mean,
you need to turn around. Hollow's moving past you, so is LaHughes. The whole battle is moving behind you, so you need to get turned around. You don't really have any blocking potential.
I'm pretty sure that that's the correct call for Elo. For me, the question is which direction he wants to do it in.
I think I would go towards LaHughes. I think if you Talon the other direction, LaHughes has a chance of banking or turning towards you. I think it's a lot harder if you move towards her. Is LaHughes a dude? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Mike, I depend on you for things like this. Don't let me misgender LaHughes. We're gonna check Wikipedia
male
real
first
quick.
order
We'll
time
go back to
pilot,
that.
according to Google.
A male? Okay. We need to do the thing that Games Done Quick does, which is all names just have a him, her, like the preferred pronoun. I'll put that by all pilots from now on. It'll help me.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Those A-wing pilots that nobody seems to get right. Scott.
Don't put that on me. So Tally. I'm going to go straight. I'm going to go fast. Shoot out the back, no doubt. But how fast do you want to go?
Well, that's another consideration for which way you're turning. Hello.
Truth.
Because you could turn Elo towards the TISF, like you were saying, and to just kind of bank Tally in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
That space that he's clearing out. One of the things that I'm worried about with that Talon roll to the left is that I'm not sure what Hollow is going to do, because they don't have a 1 straight. I think if the Taibeis had a 1 straight, that's what you dial in.
Right.
They don't, which means that it's going to be kind of unpredictable.
He's got, well, I don't know if Daredevil's going to help him much in this scenario. Yeah, I mean, I guess Ninum is the hurt one. So trying to hold yourself back to shoot into Ninum would be nice, but you move first with the first order. Oh boy, didn't plan that. So that your 2 forwards bumping. Just sloop left. It's a 2 sloop. You can probably do that. Who needs tokens? Move Tavson. Can you move Tavson to a place? Coordinate. No. He has advanced sensors. He can advance sensor, coordinate. He knows he's in range because he transferred the token.
Advanced sensors and bump Tally. I think.
Advanced sensors, coordinate, give him a focus, sloop left, game over. I solved deck swing.
Solved.
The Hollow just has Daredevil, right? Yeah.
I did. There's a little twinge of maybe Proud Tradition would be good.
So you could do like a coordinated Daredevil boost right and then a 1 hard left to like do a little zigzag pattern.
That would be cute.
It would be. I don't think it would be that great, but it would be adorable.
Look, Hexiled Gaming, we're not about winning games. We're about doing cool stuff.
Yeah, that maneuver would be art.
You remember that? Was it Kaz that ended up with those 4 stress tokens yesterday?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Ooh, LeHugh's gonna bump. Stay back here.
Oh,
I guess that's the problem. If you keep Tavson there, it does cause problems for LeHugh's.
So I guess Tavson put a jam on Tally.
Hold on now. Hold on now.
Nice.
Hold on, you got something for that, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, what is that? What is that? Stream snipe confirmed.
I like the jam for the memes. I don't like it because his entire list has no tokens now.
Ooh, and you know what? You know who saw that sloop coming?
Called
your boy
it.
Elo.
Elo's in a fantastic spot here.
Yeah.
He can clean up Hollow and then just do a nice little 1 bank and be in position to clean up the rest of the list.
Oh man, he read this like a book.
He sure did.
Okay, remember when I said that 2 sloop wins you the game? Okay, I was wrong. Your opponent sees it coming from a mile away. Now all the guns are pointed at it. Oh boy.
I would certainly feel a lot better about it if he had coordinated the token.
Oh, and Tally's.
In Tally's bullseye too.
Yep.
Atreides in this chat saying not a sloop. How is that possible? Am I a crazy man? That ship slooped, right?
Looked like
Yeah,
a sloop.
they don't have Talon rolls. They have sloops.
Yeah.
As someone who has flown a TIE BA at least once, I can confirm that they have sloops and not Talon rolls.
All right, Justice is trolling me. He's trying to throw me off, but
Maybe
I
he
will
was
not
talking-
be thrown.
Maybe he got confused and he thought we were saying that LO slooped. We were not saying that LO slooped. LO clearly did a Talon roll.
Oh, if I did say that, my bad. But also, I never
I don't
make
think you did.
mistakes. So
I don't think you did. You're perfect and you never make mistakes. So
Oh, flattery will get you everywhere. I do have a bag of prize support with Maui's name on it, and every time he does something good, I put another token in there, and whenever he disappoints me, I take one out.
How long has that bag been sitting in your house and not been put in the mail to Maui?
I don't like that question.
Just out of curiosity.
Here, can you
It's
hear
just-
me
it's
opening
out
up
of
the bag?
I can, and
taking-
I knew.
I'm just gonna
I
take
knew
one of
it was
those
going
out.
to happen, and worth it. We're
They're
gonna
gonna
say we're gonna
keep
call
that
worth.
Totally worth it.
We're gonna call worth it on that one.
One day your child's gonna grow up, and she's gonna be like,
Daddy, why don't you have a complete set of Hexile shield tokens?
"You're gonna have to tell her because you disappointed me."
I really hope she sounds like that. I hope she sounds exactly like that.
All right, there's a bump from Neen.